Hello YouTube, welcome to our channel. This channel deals with the FatFIRE journey of a family. FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retired Early. Our goal for our FIRE journey is $5 million US.
This month has been the highest net worth gain in ever. $209,000 in the plus.
So where we want to be when we retire. Once we have $5 million US, we plan to take from that amount based on the 4% guideline, a yearly income of $200,000. That is pre-tax. Our tax calculations and approaches we will speak on in a later video. So a little bit about us. We are two working parents. Our main source of income is a W-2 salary for both me and my partner. In addition to that, we have three children, ranging in age from 4 to 8, and we live in a high cost of living area. That will explain some of our expenses in a later portion of the video.
Our top three expenses this month. So topping the list is the home, which was $12,000 this month. I have a different section later on in the video breaking this amount down, as well as the amount of childcare. It's a little higher than last month, but we thought about starting to track childcare and the split between the different expenses of children. And third and last is the food, which is we've seen an increase of that amount in the last couple months. It has to do with inflation. Our diet hasn't changed significantly since the pandemic started. We have been cooking more, but our restaurant expenses are not that high, so we don't eat out much. I would say we eat out about once a week at the most. So this is the childcare portion breakdown. Like I mentioned, we have three children that are pretty young of age, so they require after school because they can't take the bus to the home because we need to work. So, like I mentioned, three kids. Two of them are in the same school. One of them is in a different school. So for the two that are in the same school, their childcare is about $600 a month, and for the third one, $200 a month for his childcare. And PTA membership, we donate to the school as much as we can. And this is the beginning of the year sort of contribution to kick off the school year. So the home related expenses this month were pretty high, a lot higher than they usually are. This has to do with multiple factors. First one is property tax. So where we live, property tax is paid twice a year. So this $6,000 is basically half of the yearly budget for property taxes. On top of that, we replaced part of our carpet. So this is the second installment and the last one. $8,000 is a bit expensive, but if you live in a high cost of living area, you know that these types of jobs, although simple, do tend to pile up. And the last one is contractor. Um, this is a deposit for work you need to have done. That will be done later on. So this is a partial payment of more substantial payment later on. These are the rest of the expenses. Healthcare, $700. This is more to do with cosmetic type healthcare, but with some medications. Utilities, super cheap this month. This is, I think, was for gas. Restaurant, a bit of eating out, nothing unusual. Um, and the rest are pretty standard, reoccurring expenses that are the cost of living in the high cost of living area. So this is the expense breakdown this month. As you can see, home is pretty high compared to the rest. So the total for this month in terms of expenses was pretty high. As you saw, the home was a significant component of it, but the rest are not cheap, which brings our expenses, to $17,000 this month, which is very high compared to previous months, but it did include some one-off payments such as home taxes and things of that nature. So we're expecting next month to be back to normal.
So part of our post-fire budget is I include a 30K stipend for travel, and we started budgeting our vacations to see if that number is good for us or do we need to adjust it according to our vacation style. So we have a couple types of vacation styles we like. There's a high budget vacation and a low budget vacation. And let's look at an example from this past summer. So this is an RV vacation we took. We traveled mainly in California as well as several parts of Oregon. So as you can imagine, there's no flights doing an RV vacation. We just got in an RV and started driving. Food, since this was an RV, we had the possibility of cooking as well as some restaurants because we're on vacation. We didn't want to cook all the time. In stays, these are mainly campground type fees. Entertainment, since we are vacationing, we did several entertainment activity such as mini golf for the kids, as well as some dune buggies for ourselves. And shopping, we travel to different places, we pick up stuff. And transportation, as you can imagine, is the majority of the vacation. This includes the RV cost plus the fuel for an RV, which was quite substantial at California prices. Which brings the RV vacation total to $4,000 US, which is an average of $100 per person per day. We use this to track our number in terms of our budget for our fire number to see that we're on track to have the lifestyle we want. Another vacation we took was for New York City. This was without the kids. So flights. The flights were very cheap. We're thinking probably COVID related. It really cost us $300 to get to New York, which is usually more towards the $1,000 range. Food, again, some snacks for the road and things of that nature, something we can quickly do. Restaurants, this is New York, so we don't have a kitchen. We had to eat out for most of our meals. Hotels, that's including stays, $300 per night. Seems reasonable for us. Sorry, $200 per night. Entertainment, this is New York. Everything costs more. And entertainment really stands out. Shopping, a lot of shopping to do there. And transportation, these are mainly Uber and Lyft type transportation and rideshare from the airport to the health hotel and vice versa. Which brings the total for the New York vacation to $2,000 plus, which is $375 per day per person. Quite expensive, but this we use this number towards our fire budget to make sure we are aligned and the lifestyle we want to achieve post retirement. So this month we've been experimenting with noodles. Like I mentioned, we plan on traveling once we hit our fire number, and we plan on traveling in different parts of the world, and we plan on cooking some of our meals as a way to keep a part of us with us while we travel. So this month we experiment with tofu noodles. It's quite quick to make. I was very surprised. Tofu is not an ingredient I'm familiar with, but it was quite tasty, and the kids really enjoyed it. So we'll continue doing some different stuff with noodles along the way. Our debt this month, we are still tracking for zero debt, and we plan to continue this approach. It has taken us long, long years to get to this approach and this number. I haven't started this blog once we were in debt, but it took us about 4 years to get out of debt.
So our net worth, taxable accounts is 1,200,000. That has to do with talks, stock market gains. The house is pretty standard. It goes up and down by about 5,000 each month, but it's pretty stable compared to last year. Debt is still at $0, and we like it that way. Cars, 32,000 for the two vehicles we have. Retirement accounts, split between 401k, HSA, IRA, etc., which brings our total this month to $3.12 million, which is the first time we've ever gone over the $3 million mark, which is quite an achievement. I'll have a separate video on like the time it took us to get to this amount.
This is how we track over time. As you can see, it's a slow and gradual progressive, nothing unusual, good and great. I have a different video for our portfolio breakdown. If you're interested, I'll put a link at the top. Thank you for listening, and if you have questions, please leave a comment and I will answer them. Thank you.